What's going on, everyone? This is Spilling Tea with Chris G, and tonight I'm going over Basketball Wives LA. So I'm gonna catch up from the first episode of the new season, and of course, I'm gonna go ahead and do my top five highlights, and I'm gonna spill the tea, of course, for you all. So let's go ahead and get started. So, recap of the first episode because again, I didn't film it, but I am going to talk about it. So, the top three things that really did happen on this episode, the first one was number one, they introduced two new baby mamas. They introduced Keonna, which is Nick Young's baby mother. She was saying that they were back in the day high school sweethearts, and then they broke up, and then they got back together. And she's alleging that Nick Young was dealing with her and Iggy Azalea at the same time, and Iggy Azalea knew that he was still dealing with Keonna. Hence, that is why she got pregnant during Nick Young and Iggy Azalea's relationship, which led to Iggy Azalea bailing out of that relationship because Keonna was saying that she was still texting Iggy saying, "Hey, your man's garage opener, your man got my garage opener," and things like that. So, I was kind of, she met up with Shawnee to tell her all this, and I was kind of like, that's a little messy. Also, a new girl named Elena has also been introduced to the group, and she is Jackie's friend. And she actually went with Jackie to Shawnee's birthday party, which is the second thing that happened. Shawnee invited all the ladies to her 70s themed birthday party. And finally, Tami and Evelyn are back on the show, and they were at the 70s party as well. That was the first time they have seen each other in over 4 years because they have not spoken. And Tami is still mad about an interview that Evelyn had did stating that she would never mess with Tami. And Tami also said that Evelyn had ran through three players associations, which, most chicks is only lucky to get one, but three times, baseball, basketball, and football. So that's interesting. However, they did not resolve their issue because Tami feels like Evelyn should apologize by saying that she was a non factor in her marriage. Evelyn feels like, well, you were divorcing, so why does it matter? And I didn't know that you were married. So Evelyn is just saying, I'm tired of being called a whore because that's not true. And Tami is not apologizing. So let's go ahead and jump into my first highlight for the second episode of Basketball Wives LA. For my first highlight, Chantel and Evelyn were doing a photo shoot for a magazine. They were doing a mama and daughter photo shoot. And of course, Evelyn's wig transformed her into a madam, and she kind of did look like a madam. But, anyways, so she was telling Chantel about what happened at the 70s party, and she was saying that, she shouldn't have said, those things to Tami, but she tried to play it as cool as she could, and that's why she got up out of there because she really was having an outer body experience. She said she was shaking and she was very upset after that whole situation. She said that she felt ambushed because first, Jackie did come for her talking about this donation situation with her daughter Takari Lee, who is estranged from Jackie. Evelyn had donated some funds to her GoFundMe, which, okay, this is my thing too. Okay, we keep getting on Evelyn, but there were other people that donated to that GoFundMe too, including Matt Barnes, by the way, when Takari's son had got burned at the daycare. So Jackie was saying, "Oh, I feel like, that, I don't know what to expect or what you were thinking." And Evelyn was like, "Listen, I just did it because I wanted to. You can't control who I donate and who I don't." And Jackie was trying to tell her, "Well, I felt like you were acting like my kid, I don't take care of her." But Takari is always saying how you don't take care of her. So that's bizarre. And then also she was talking about how Tami, was sitting up there attacking her about this, you know, mistress situation, and Evelyn just feels like she's tired of being portrayed as a whore, and she feels like that she's not. But at the same time, you not saying that you are a whore, but saying that you did technically have an affair with, Tami's husband, they technically were still married. So, I mean, it is what it is. A spade is a spade. You technically were in a relationship with this guy and he still was married. So, just still arguing about the same stuff from 10 years ago from the original Basketball Wives Miami. On to my second highlight. So, Shawnee introduces a new girl to the team. Her name is Bonnie Jill. She was the first scout, female scout actually, for the Los Angeles Lakers. She's in a relationship with Kareem Rush, who is also a retired basketball player, and she is a sports personality as well. So she was introduced into the group, and she invited some of the ladies to go to a dog rescue with her, which was Evelyn and Jackie. They went to help her, with some of the rescues that she's working with. And she was just telling Shawnee earlier in the episode that, she is kind of weird upon marriage right now, not really looking forward to get married. She doesn't want to have any kids, and she'd rather have her animals than to do that. So, that's just kind of her personality. I think I'm feeling her. I think I'm feeling this new castmate. On to my third highlight. Tami met up with Jackie and Elena, and they were sitting there having some drinks, and Tami was discussing the situation with Jackie because Jackie told Tami that she did speak with Evelyn about the situation, and she felt like, there was no harm, and Evelyn was just trying to explain to her, I didn't go to the press about it, I wasn't trying to be harmful. But Tami was saying, well, Evelyn left a message on Takari's page talking about how you were a bad mother. And, she tried to find the link for it, and I guess she did eventually send it to Jackie. But Tami feels like Evelyn did it because she was trying to get back into the limelight, and it was something to do. It wasn't really from the bottom of her heart. Evelyn was saying, no, I have a son too, and if something happened to him like that, and if I didn't have the money, I would want people to donate to me as well. And she was saying that she felt a way about that because she also has a little boy. So I think in Jackie's right mind, I think that she feels like Evelyn didn't have anything to do with it. But Jackie was saying, like, as far as Evelyn didn't have anything to do with being malicious, out of a malicious intent to donate to Takari's GoFundMe. But Jackie's also saying she feels like Tami is kind of jumping into their situation because she's still mad at Evelyn about this whole, you were with my man situation back in the day. So, and I believe that too. I feel like Tami, she's just like going in on her about this whole situation. Now, Tami did take to her Instagram, and she is clearing it up by saying that she felt like Basketball Wives edited a lot of the conversation out to make it seem like that she was a bad person, and she wasn't. So she took to her Instagram to post about that. I was I like Tami. I really do. I like Tami, but I feel like that's a situation between Jackie and Evelyn, and I think that Tami should deal with her own issue between her and Evelyn. So I think that she should just leave it. For my fourth highlight, Jackie and Evelyn have met up with Giovanni, like I was saying in the previous highlight, about helping out at the shelter for the rescued dogs. And Jackie again brings up this whole GoFundMe situation with Takari. So Jackie told Evelyn that, her and Tami were talking about it. And Evelyn's like, why is this even the topic of conversation? And Jackie was saying that Tami had sent her the link, but she couldn't get into it to see what Evelyn had said. So Evelyn said, well, why don't you just call your daughter and she'll tell you what I said? So last night on Instagram, or I believe it was Monday or Tuesday, Evelyn had posted to her Instagram exactly what she had told Takari. That it was a hard time, and that, her message was very understanding, and she had put, you be the judge. Okay, so Jackie was saying, I don't feel like it was with malicious intent, but I just didn't know what to think. And Evelyn was saying, Tami is messy. And Tami is out for blood, basically, and she is. So Giovanni, heard that they were kind of getting into it a little bit about this whole situation. So she had came over and she kind of got into the, not in the middle of it, but her kind of toward, was hearing the conversation between them. So Takari had actually took to her Twitter. She's actually going to be publishing a book, just bringing to light the whole situation that happened, and she just wants to get her side of the story out there. And her book will be available in August. And so she had tweeted, that her kids don't even know her parents at all. Her kids are shocked. Her 6 year old is shocked to even know that she even has parents. They don't even know what they look like. Takari was also saying that she wished she was there for Shani. Jackie apparently was in DC at the time Takari was giving birth, and she didn't come. She sent the grandma and the sister to come to the birth of her first child. And so Takari was saying, how she can't even call me to ask me what Evelyn said because she doesn't talk to me. And she basically has isolated me out of the family. So it's kind of a touchy situation. Now, Jackie, was just, basically all right with Evelyn after that. So Shawnee, Giovanni, and Tami had met up, and Jill was telling Tami about, the conversation that happened between them. And so then Tami, of course, is saying, oh, she's messy. Evelyn could die 5 times, and by the 6th time, she's still not your friend. I mean, she was just like going in on Evelyn, and she was going in on Jackie, saying that Jackie was messy as well and not to believe her. And she was just going in about it. So I don't know. Tami is, I think she's too involved in this GoFundMe situation, and I wish she would just step out of it and resolve her issue with Evelyn. But now she got a problem with Jackie too, because they both were saying that she was messy. So on to my 5th highlight. Nick Young's baby mother, Keonna, had met up with Elena. And Elena was on the first episode. She was there at the party with Jackie. She was Jackie's hoe, essentially, and Jackie was a pimp. And Elena did bring to the table that her and Nick Young was texting. Now, I find this interesting that Keonna gets mad at Elena for saying that. Now, Tami wanted Evelyn to tell her, oh, yeah, I did, sleep with your ex back in the day when they first started talking, but instead, Evelyn waited until 6 months later. Elena is bringing it to the forefront, saying, I like you. I don't want to be fake to you, so I want to tell you I was texting Nick. And Keonna gets mad. And I'm sorry, but in this picture, why is her face and her neck 2 different colors? Okay, the point is I need for things to blend. Anyways, the point is that I'm just like, I'm so confused because I'm like, why are you mad? I mean, granted, okay, you don't want to talk about it. You feel like you moved on. It's a done situation. But at the same time, is it a done situation? I mean, don't you want to know, hey, this is what it is? At least Elena was being upfront about it. And that's what's up. Like, I appreciate her for being upfront about that. I was texting him, but it's done situation. I haven't texted him again. It really didn't go that far. But Keonna is saying that she's thirsty. Girl, bye. So the next episode, Keonna is still mad at Elena for telling her this information, which again, I find it really funny that one party wanted her to wanted the other one to be upfront, and they didn't until later on. The other party don't want you to be upfront and don't want you to keep talking about it. So I cannot wait for that. And then also Jackie and Tami get into it again. So that will be really interesting to see, what comes from this from this season, because Jackie and Tami was cool. So, now from being cool to falling out, it's going to be quite an interesting season. So Anyways, that is it for you guys. Please make sure you subscribe. I will be back next week to go ahead and review the third episode of Basketball Wives. Have a good night.